This is how the tortoise got its cracked back in the early days, when animals still argued like humans and every creature had a story to prove. Tortoise was already famous, not for bravery, not for strength, but for his clever lies and his dangerous smile. One bright morning, Tortoise was lounging under a palm tree when the sky suddenly filled with wings. Parrot, eagle, dove, sparrow, all circling with excitement. Tortoise sat up quickly. "Where are you all flapping off to in such a hurry?" Parrot, who talked more than anyone ever, asked, chirped back, "Didn't you hear? There's a grand feast in the sky. The Sky King is making dishes no creature on earth has ever tasted." Tortoise's mouth watered instantly. "A feast?" His eyes widened. "And you didn't invite me?" Eagle scoffed. You can't even jump, much less fly. Stay on the ground where you belong." But Tortoise wasn't called the trickster for nothing. He flashed the birds his sweetest fakest smile. "My good friends, surely you won't leave me behind. Think of all the stories I could tell at the feast. All I need is one feather from each of you, and I can build wings." The birds hesitated, but Tortoise kept talking, smoothing their doubts with honey-coated lies. Finally, they agreed. They plucked one feather each and patched them onto Tortoise until he looked like a colorful, slightly overweight bird. Then whoosh, they lifted into the sky. For the first time ever, Tortoise flew, laughing loudly, already planning mischief. In the feast above the clouds, the Sky King welcomed them with booming joy. A long table stretched across the clouds, heavy with steaming food. Golden yams swimming in palm oil, pepper soup bubbling with spice, roasted plantain glistening like treasure. The Sky King spread his arms. "Eat, eat, my honored guests." But before the birds could take a single step, Tortoise raised his hand dramatically. "Your Majesty," he said, bowing low, "in my village, it is tradition that food must be served first. To the most important guest." The birds froze. "And who," the Sky King asked, "is the most important guest?" Tortoise placed his hand proudly on his chest. "I am," and with that, he rushed forward. He devoured the feast. Every bowl, every plate, every last crumb. He ate until the clouds themselves seemed thinner. The birds watched with their mouths hanging open, their feathers bristled with anger. The payback when the feast ended, the birds confronted him. "Give us back our feathers." Before Tortoise could protest, they ripped every single feather off him. Suddenly he was just a bald, heavy tortoise standing helplessly on a cloud. "My friends," Tortoise cried. "How will I get down?" Parrot, still furious, replied, "I will tell your wife to spread soft things on the ground." Tortoise nodded gratefully, still not understanding the danger. The birds flew ahead and reached his wife first. Parrot said sweetly, "Your husband is returning from the sky. Spread your hardest things to welcome him. Mortars, pestles, stones, everything." The poor woman obeyed. The fall, high above, Tortoise looked down. He saw objects on the ground, but didn't know they were hard. He took a deep breath and jumped. He tumbled. He rolled, he spun. And then, crack, he smashed against the ground so hard that his shell shattered into 100 tiny pieces. The animals rushed over in horror. They glued the shell back together with tree sap. But no matter what they tried, the cracks remained. And that is how the tortoise got its cracked back. A reminder that greed can lift you high, but it can also bring you crashing down. Subscribe for more stories.